Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net on Saturday the 10th of May. Thanks again for watching. I'm at the office actually today down here in Borth in sunny, well actually not so sunny West Wales. It's a windy old day, and it's windy across many parts of the west and the south of the country. Just got some info for you on the longer range. Amazing how the MJO, the Madame Julian Oscillation, is playing out at the moment, because the models are coming to it rather than it going to the models. Numerical models giving many different answers right now, but the MJO is holding out. More on that in just a mo. A stunning satellite picture this morning, though. This taken at 10 o'clock. Here's the front, the cold front, clearing off towards the east at that time. You see the clearer skies following in from the west. Well, clearer skies, sunnier spells following in from the west here and here. But we've got troughs wrapped around here, another one wrapped around here, another one in here, and the remainder of the occluded front here across Scotland. So all this is rotating around the area of low pressure and driving showers eastwards through the country today. Now, comparison between the various different models builds confidence in the idea of pressure rising as we get into the end of this week and into the beginning of next weekend, but then falling off again as we get into the week after next. And that's the pattern that the CFS, the MJO, has been suggesting, and it was backed up by the CFS. Interesting look to see as well how the models agree on the rise in 850 temperatures here, but then a disagreement on exactly what happens, how that pattern plays out at the end of the forecast period. So this is coming up towards the end of next weekend and into the following week. The reason for this is such a question mark over strength of the north and northwesterly flow that tries to kick in beyond that. Where there is further agreement, though, is this idea of precipitation levels dropping off during the end of this week, and very, very little as we go through into the end of next weekend and into the week after next. So interesting graphic there, showing good agreement between the various different models over the shape that pressure will be taking during the coming 10 to 14 days. And just to compare the models further, it's always useful because it builds confidence in the forecast. These are the various different models valid for midnight next Friday. So this is Thursday into Friday. We've got the Canadian here, we've got the GFS here, we've got the ECMWF, and we've got the UK Met Office here. And you notice how all of them go for this idea, look, of high pressure somewhere close to the British Isles. Less certainty over what happens across Scotland. UK Met and ECMWF look trying to pull in some fronts pretty close to northern and northwestern Scotland, bringing out breaks of rain here. Hints of it too on the GFS, but the Canadian stays clear of that idea. I actually think probably the model that's going to come out more accurately with this is the ECMWF. And then just looking a little bit further ahead, this is valid for Tuesday the 20th. No UK Met output for this time because the model just doesn't go ahead that far. So we've got the Canadian, the GFS and the ECMWF, and you notice here, look, the Canadian pulling this big trough in across the west of the UK. The GFS actually has that trough over the UK with a high building in the Atlantic here, look, and the ECMWF has it over the UK as well. I actually favour, again, ECMWF's solution on this, hinting at that more unsettled weather. And I think having been warm, potentially very warm at the end of this week, that certainly would be quite a shock for the following week as more unsettled conditions move in. It becomes wet, there's some heavy showers around, and it goes cold as well. Because what I think will then happen during the latter stages of next week, or I should say the latter stages of the week after next, is that the trough will pull away out towards the east. The northerly flow will come down through the country. I think we'll go cold for a time, but then eventually I think what will happen is that the trough will pull away completely and we'll find the ridge building in from the west, something like so, putting a trough down into central parts of Europe and the high building back in probably for Spring Bank Week. How long it lasts, not too sure, but I think that's the way this pattern is going to develop. So we've got fine weather at the end of this week, unsettled end of next weekend and into the following week, and then improving again towards the end of that week, so down to around about the 23rd of May. take a look at that again in a second, but just back to where we are now. Next few days, I know some of you like the short range forecast as well. Low pressure centred off the north of Ireland today, driving the showers around the low and across the country. I think the rain clearing away from northern Scotland. Pretty hefty showers towards the south and the west, and windy as well. Widespread gales, Wales, southwest England, southern England and Ireland too. Another showery one for Sunday, low pressure still in control. Westerly winds being driven through the country, bringing a mix of sunshine and showers. Sunshine in short supply across many northern and western areas, best of it towards the east and the south. Those showers merge into longer spells of rain at times across western coasts, and staying windy in the south, although probably strong winds rather than gales. And this chart from weatheronline.co.uk just shows how these showers become aligned, look, tomorrow afternoon. You can see the bands of showers here, look, affecting many parts of the country. So what they're doing is they're just being rotated around the low and are aligning themselves with the wind. Monday, more sunshine and showers, less showers around, less windy as well. I think best of the conditions by then, probably northern and northeastern parts of Scotland. Just a few showers further south. Tuesday, starting to see high pressure building in. Look, here's the ridge coming through, but I think with the north and northwesterly flow, we're going to be finding some showers just about everywhere, particularly northern and eastern coast of the country, but just about everywhere could see them, although they'll tend to die away as the ridge builds in. And then Wednesday, high pressure here off northwestern parts of France. This warm front tracking its way northeastwards, taking a front and some cloud into northern and western Scotland, northern and western parts of Ireland as well, with some outbreaks of rain and drizzle here, but drier across many eastern and southern areas and becoming warmer as well. And that's the theme towards the end of the week as well, the high pressure building in, temperatures warming up, although still with these fronts close to northern Scotland, look, bringing bits and pieces of drizzle and rain here, but for most, sunny, dry and warm through Thursday and Friday. Just need to watch for this northeasterly flow across East Anglia with the southeast, perhaps bringing a little bit more in the way of cloud there, and probably staying dry and sunny for Saturday too. I think the change coming about by next Sunday, so that's the 18th, and that's when we go into more unsettled conditions. And I've been banging on about the MJO, and this is the latest MJO forecast from the CFS model. Each of the colours you see here are various runs of the CFS model. It's the various different members, but what's important is just to note the phases that this is going through. And what I want you to notice here, look, is where we go into phase 3 here, which according to the dates on here is where are we? We are 19th, 20th. It's around about the 20th of the month. We then come out of that on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So we come out of that on the 24th, and we get into phase 5 around about the 26th, 27th. In fact, that's about the 23rd, isn't it? So we got, let me do that again, 23rd there, and about the 26th there. So notice phase 3 on the 20th, phase 4 on the 23rd, phase 5 on the 26th. And here's how those phases look. This is phase 3, okay? And what phase 3 does is, look, puts low pressure up towards the north of Scotland, higher than normal heights down towards the south. So what we find is a trough coming through the UK during phase 3 conditions. Well, look what happens next weekend, the 18th, 19th time. This is where we're going into these phase 3 conditions. Then, around the 23rd, we then go into phase 4 conditions. And phase 4, look, low pressure up towards the north and high pressure down towards the south there. Look, so we've still got the ridge in there, but quite a deep trough in the Atlantic. But then as we get into phase 5, look, which remember we said was around about the 25th, 26th, did we? Look, higher than normal heights building back in, low gets squeezed off towards the north, and we get this big area, look, of above normal heights forming right the way across the Atlantic into central parts of Asia. So this is kind of building this idea that's there. Now, I always stress, look, this isn't a forecast as in, you know, a day-to-day forecast. What we can do here is give guidance as to where we think things may head. And given that pressure, or rather heights, are higher than normal and looked as if they come off and go into a trough in exactly the same way that's predicted within the MJO, then clear, and then we go into phase 5 of the MJO, it gives us confidence this is where it may go. So at the moment, the probability is towards pressure building again once we get or the week after next unsettled spell of weather out of the way, and it could be that leads us into a fine end to May. That's where we'd lean at the moment. That's not to say that's what's going to happen, but that seems to be where the balance of probability goes right now. So hopefully that's useful information for you. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Don't forget we kept free of charge because of you keep on coming back and using the site, and because you tell your friends about us and they come and use the site. It just means we can put more adverts in front of you, and it's that generates the revenue that keeps us free of charge. So thanks for doing that, and once again, thanks for watching. Whatever you're doing, have a great day. Try not to get hit by too many showers if you can avoid it, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.